Hey everyone, it's June 26th. It's been a while since I did a video, but that's kind of because we're all into the part of the season now where the only thing left to do really is weed until stuff starts getting ready. Anyway, I thought I'd maybe talk about a few different things here. Show you some stuff in the greenhouse and maybe show you some of our favorite weeding tools. And that'll be it. I hope your garden's growing well this year. Okay, so indeterminate tomatoes, the ones that grow forevermore as tall as they want without stopping, need to be tied up or staked or caged or whatever you want to use. Generally the tomato cages they sell in the store aren't big enough, so we have ours tied up in the greenhouse here with these ropes you can see all along here and then along this side as well. So these ropes go up to this pipe up here, and this is the whole reason we put these pipes in, is for tying the tomatoes up when we built the greenhouse, because it makes it easier. But if you've got beams up there you can attach to anything, whatever. The pipes make it easy because then we can slide them along. Here, I'll use this one that's not, like we can slide them along and move them along both ends, both pipes, to where we need them. Makes it simple. So they just come down over this pipe so that they're then centered over the bed. And then they come down to the tomato plant and we put them into the ground. You can see down here with like just a generic camping stake. And then we train the tomatoes around them. So this one hasn't been moved for a while. So basically we just gently turn the main stem around it and pull some suckers while we're at it. Oh, here's another one. And another one. There, that one's around now. And then this one's pretty good. This one's doing okay, although he's bending quite a lot. This one needs to be wrapped because he's gonna fall over. Okay, I can't do this with two hands, or with one hand, so I gotta put the phone down. There, so I just brought him back around a few times. This one's got way off base from his rope too. So I will, maybe I'll set the phone down on the ledge over here and see if I can do a video for you. Okay, this one. Untangle this leaf and then send that one around. That's better. Pull out a couple of suckers. So here's where we got the confusion. We're not sure if this is a determinate or indeterminate. And some of our indeterminates aren't doing much. It's gonna be a weird year in this greenhouse. Oh, that's a huge sucker. Look at that. It's ridiculous. I haven't been in here doing this as frequently as I should be because life gets busy. If you're not sure what suckers are, because all of the websites say to sucker your tomatoes, it's these, right in the crotch. Ooh, here's a big one. This whole stalk right here, all these leaves, is a sucker. We're gonna pull it off. Just get in there and snap it. That's it. Here's another little sucker. This is about the size when you want to catch them at, because this is super easy to snap out. Okay. When you do it when they're this small, the central leader is still very delicate, and flexible, so it wraps pretty easily without getting wrecked. gets a little harder once they're a little thicker and a little taller, so it's good to do it while they're growing. This tomato has one sucker here and one sucker here. Suckering your tomatoes is really only important on indeterminate varieties. Determinate varieties, it doesn't really matter. Usually cherry tomatoes are determinate, so the little ones. It doesn't really matter because they go every which way and they're a bush type, so it's not as big of a deal. But indeterminate tomatoes, it helps control the amount of energy that the tomato plant wastes on foliage and non-fruiting branches. So suckering them helps maintain the energy that they consume from water, soil, fertilizer for better quality fruits. Okay, so here is another fairly large sucker right here. Just gonna snap it out. Also this little one below it. Here's another sucker. Obviously I need to get out here on a more regular basis and do this. And a little one. This central leader's gotten quite a ways away from the rope, so I'm gonna wrap that again. This one has also gotten, and there's a large sucker in here, so we'll wrap it. There we go. And we'll snap this sucker out. Same thing here, this one's gotten quite tall away from the rope. Just wrap it around. There we go. So the other thing about tomatoes in a greenhouse is that you don't get as much bees in here to do your pollination for you. So you need to manually pollinate. So there's a few different ways to manually pollinate tomatoes. One of the most frequently recommended ways I found on the internet is to get an electric toothbrush and turn it on, and then you just touch the back of the toothbrush to the flower, and then you just do it to all the flowers. If you don't have an electric toothbrush, I'll show you how we do it. I mean, I have an electric toothbrush, I just cannot be bothered to use it on tomatoes. So we just go around and tickle all the flowers. And my nephew loves doing this, and last summer he reminded his mom that she needed to make sure she tickled all the tomato flowers. So it's the vibration that releases the pollen. So it's similar like when a bee is buzzing, it vibrates on the plant. So it does the same thing. Also, our strawberries are doing really well this year. I think mainly because we are paying more attention to watering them than we have in previous years. Like, look at this one. I'm gonna eat that for breakfast tomorrow. This is my basil bed. It's doing pretty good. I started all of these ones from seed, and that's Thai basil that we bought from the store, but I had to transplant it because it was not happy where it was. And lettuce. This is not a good time for me to video the lettuce because it's looking pretty sparse. But this lettuce is the first seed that we planted in the greenhouse here, and I'm not sure the date. This red leaf stuff. It is phenomenal. It's called New Red Fire, I believe, and most of the seed companies carry it. We have cut, well, snapped. I usually snap off the outside leaf, just like that, for harvest. And it's so yummy. Anyways, we have like harvested off of here at least 5 times, minimum. And it's still like short and producing huge leaves. Like these leaves, right now they're pretty small, but these leaves get like bigger than my hand. Like these are like grocery store lettuce leaves, and they're so delicious. Now, tools. We just got this year. It is the biggest trowel I've ever found. It is also the heaviest trowel I've ever found. I will not ever be able to break this or bend this, which I have done with every other trowel we've owned. It's as big as my hand. It's amazing. It's Fiskars, and I believe my mom got it at PV Mart. Funny thing, sort of not funny, I guess. Most of our favorite tools are Fiskars. This is my favorite dandelion digger. It's a Fiskars. Mom hates this one. She has another one she likes. It's not Fiskars. But this is also one of our favorite pruners, which is also Fiskars. This is my mom's favorite dandelion digger. The garden is really coming on. Looking good this year. These beets, funny thing, 2 or 3 weeks ago I decided they need to be thinned out. So I came in and pulled a bunch out and I was like, hey, these rows are really wide apart. So I stuck a hole in the ground every couple of inches and stuck the ones I was pulling out in between each row. And 90% of the ones that I moved have come back. So that's pretty cool. I need to thin my carrots up there, they're kind of nuts. So we bag our lawn when we mow it. I did these 2 rows last night and dump it in the rows. It is great for the soil when it's worked in and breaks down. It also makes it softer to walk on. Keeps the, I don't know about soil temperature, keeps the surface temperature down. Like you can walk in here with bare feet in the middle of the day on +30 on the grass and still be okay. It's good that way. It does help keep some of the weeds down, but it's not as much of a weed barrier as some people think it should be. This is my teepee for the beans. We got grass in there too. I need to do some weeding because these raspberries are coming up all over the place. But the beans are doing pretty good. And my sweet peas are coming along too. They didn't come up everywhere I planted them, but they've come up in quite a few spots, so I'm okay with that. Zucchinis are looking good. And this is our first raised bed. Got lots of cabbage, kale in there. And this is another row of that red fire lettuce that's so amazing. I wrote about it on my blog last week. If you want to go read that, I'll link it somewhere. My pumpkins. Ooh, this one's going for a trip. Anyways, they all have a few little pumpkins on them. There's one there, one there, one there. I'm getting eaten by mosquitoes. Anyways, this is also the other one, which also has a couple of pumpkins on it. So I'm pretty happy with that. This is another raised bed. So here is slightly younger red leaf lettuce. Get some, grow it, it's so easy. On a non-vegetable note, our first oriental poppy is about to open here soon. This is my thyme experiment that I started last year. So I just took out a little section of sod here, which is clearly growing back in, and put in 3 different kinds of thyme. So I'm not sure what that is. It's just plain old creeping thyme. That's woolly thyme, and this is, I think, red creeping thyme. Clearly it's doing the best. There's still a lot of weeds though, and it's really hard to weed thyme. Anyways, wouldn't it be cool if that was my whole lawn? So I was in the house. Took my shoes off, thought I was gonna go downstairs and start working on my video, and then I realized that somewhere in the intro I told you I was gonna talk about weeding tools, and I did not. This and this are our 2 favorite weeding tools. Interchangeably, like them both equally enough. I'm not sure where the red one is from. So the red one is a flow-through Telesco weeder. From, I'm not sure who, I don't see the company on here, Garden Bandit. The green one is from Lee Valley. I like them both, they're super easy to work with. Yeah, they're great. I also have one of these, which is super handy. I use it for digging up like the little flower beds, so this one along here every year, and then the ones in the front yard. It's so much easier than trying to get a tiller in there. So I guess that's it for this week. I better shut the shed door. Guess that's it for this episode. I can do things. That's it for this episode. Garden tip for this week is get weeding. Man, the weeds are huge. Start pulling them out. They're ridiculous around here. Also, pull out creeping bellflower. I'd show you what that looks like, but we just pulled it all out, so we don't have any at the moment. I'll do a video on that later in the summer. It's invasive in Alberta. Might look pretty, but you don't want it in your yard. So, have a good week. Happy weeding!